Last Saturday I was over in Liverpool with my kids, and they were at a BMX park, they ride BMX bikes, and one of them had this big accident. He smashed into another lad who was also riding a BMX. So I had to take him to Fazakerley Hospital in Liverpool, where it turns out he'd broken his collarbone. But it meant we were sitting in accident emergency for about 4 hours, me and him, just basically people watching whilst he nursed this broken collarbone, you know what I mean? And it's quite a place, because Fazakerley, I don't know, I've never been to Fazakerley before, but it doesn't seem like a very salubrious area, let me put it that way. And accident emergencies seem to be half full of people who were pissed, really. You know, there was one woman who kept opening cans of lager while she was in the actual accident emergency, with a big cut on her leg with blood running down her ankle. And the security guard kept coming and saying, no, you've got to go outside. And she'd go outside for a bit and she'd come back and open another can of lager while she was sitting there. It happened about 4 times. And most of the injuries that people had seemed to be lager related, you know. You know, people with dints in their head, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it was quite an experience. I don't know if it was related exactly to that, or that was something particularly novel, but I don't think so. Or because of the circumstances of while I was arriving there. But I had this really overpowering sense of ugliness. You know, it's not really fair to talk about people in Fazakerley like that, or people in Liverpool, or people generally. But that's what I felt, you know. I felt included in that. You know, I was kind of sitting there dressed in more or less in what I've got now, different hat on, hadn't shaven, and I felt completely one with the group of people there, and we all felt ugly. At least I felt really, they were really ugly. You know, everybody looked like some kind of fucking blight-ridden potato, and I felt like a blight-ridden potato, like I looked like that. It was just, you know, we just all looked like shit. Anyway, I finished the accident emergency and John got strapped up and, you know, we went home and all that kind of stuff. And then later that evening I had to drive out to Crewe, which is, you know, also not great. I don't want to say anything too bad about Crewe, because it's not a horrible place, but it has its moments, you know what I mean? It has its moments. It's not Hawaii. It's not like where Pyro is making his videos from. I always look at Pyro's videos and think, fuck, he's making his videos in fucking Hawaii, and I'm making my videos near Crewe. Anyway, I was in Crewe because I had to go to buy a pizza, and yeah, and that was all fine. And I was stopped at the traffic lights in the middle of Crewe, and there's a shop there, the Polski Sklep, which I think means Polish shop, at least I hope it does. It's certainly a shop that sells lots of Polish stuff, food, and all the language is Polish because it's quite a large Polish community in Crewe. And there's a bunch of guys, maybe 4 guys, standing outside the Polski Sklep, all dressed again, pretty much like I'm dressed now, all pretty much unshaven, all smoking tabs, all wearing really cheap clothes, but for some reason they look absolutely fucking fantastic, and Polski Sklep looked fantastic. And the people walking by in the street, you know what I mean, because it was that time of the evening, about 7:30, 7:45 I guess, maybe a little bit later than that, and people were starting to go out, so there's lots of women going to the boozers, most of whom had exposed midriffs and tramp stamps on the lower back, and the whole thing, you know. So there was nothing objectively different about the people I was looking at, but they all looked fucking gorgeous, you know. I mean, these women looked superb. You know, some of them were really fat. There was one really fat woman got out this car, pulled up outside the pub, and she was a really big woman, but she looked fantastic. And this bunch of guys outside the Polski Sklep, they just looked like they'd been painted, you know. It looked like one of those impressionist paintings. Fucking weird. You know what I mean? I just felt absolutely fucking loved these people. Weird. Obviously it's biochemical, you know what I mean? There's nothing objectively different about these folk. And yeah. So, you know, note to self, you know, don't make snap judgments about folk based on what you think about them. Just give it a few hours and they'll start looking more attractive.